Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me. First, we'll start with a glass of water because you're supposed to drink 9 to 12 glasses of water a day. That's the strategy to have a healthy body. So, I talk about strategy for the stock market. We all understand we're supposed to enter at the best point, right? But a lot of us don't. Me, I drink maybe 3 glasses of water a day. I'm supposed to drink 9 to 12. So, understand when you have strategy, you must execute your strategy as well. It's not just about having strategy. With that said, the first thing I do in the morning, which I like to recap with you guys, is go over the 2-year, the 10-year, and the US dollar number, because as those numbers go higher, it puts more downward pressure on our markets. So as we entered yesterday, we had a spike of like 12 to 15 basis points. Today, the 2-year is sitting right where it was yesterday at 456, 457. The 10-year sitting flat from yesterday, 413.9 yesterday, 413 this morning. The good news, the US dollar has come down. It spiked in the past 3 days from 112 to 113. This morning, it's back at 112.56. So it is down. Now, let's do a trade recap from yesterday, and I'll tell you what positions I'm in as far as today, and then we'll go over what potential the SPY range could do. Because when I talk about entry point, you're looking for the bottom of the SPY to buy calls in whatever stock or options you're looking. When we're at the top end and we reject, I'm thinking of my kids now because I do funny things with them, we go down. Okay, so please understand that. Let me pull up my trades recently so we can talk about them very quickly, and then we'll talk about the SPY. Okay, so here are my trades recently. Okay, as you can see, I take small victories, I compute the percentage return, and I make a small account a big account. Why? Because I currently have a micro account, which started with, okay, we'll talk about my UVXY position from yesterday, and then we'll talk about the 3 or 4 accounts that I'm managing. But yesterday, I hopped in UVXY calls, right? Because I said the market was going to go down. Why? Because the market was showing resistance at the top. So I jumped in UVXY calls. I was told crazy, clown, fool, you're going the wrong direction. The market, So let me tell you what happened. I got in at $40 per contract for the $12 calls. I got in at $40. My exit strategy was $61, up 50%. So when it hit $61, I sold. Somebody asked me on Webull, hey, dude, I always get angry at myself because now your option contract's up another 20%. It's at $70 a contract. Are you upset at yourself? And I'm like, no, in this case, and sometimes I do get upset at myself, but in this case, my exit strategy was $61. When it hit $61, I was like, hell of a trade. That's it. So I'm actually managing a bunch of accounts right now. We'll start with the smallest account, which I have a new position, which I started yesterday, which opened up down 20%. So my small account, which is my micro account, I don't trade Webull anymore because I like Moomoo. We should have a link below if you want to join Moomoo. You join, just open up a free account, 1 free stock, deposit $100, 4 free stocks, $2,000, 15 free stocks. So it's a no-brainer. I like free. Okay, so my micro account, which was my Webull account, I saved $14 because that was the initial free stock they gave me and I cannot withdraw it. So I said, okay, let me keep that. Let me see how much I can grow it to. So I grew it to like $30, $50. Then it came back to $22. It's now at $32. The position I entered yesterday was in a firm call, AFRM. The stock was sitting at, I think, let's just see. I don't want to mess this up. Oh, it was at $17.84. And I made a purchase for $30. What happened after? It went down to $17.62. It lost another like 20 cents, which is like 1.3%. The option I bought, which is way out of the money, I spent $30, okay, went down to $24. All right, I'm off 20%. And I made the announcement. So if anybody got in, congratulations, because I think a firm is up pre-market. And we'll just check that one out. Again, it's my micro account. Yeah, now a firm closed at $17.91, so it closed a few cents higher than where I got in. And pre-market's up 22 cents to $18.13. Again, option expires Friday. Any spike in the small account, if I can take $32 and make it $45, I'm out. That's it. That's my goal. Make small piles for a small account. If I'm waiting for a home run, it might be waiting, and all of a sudden it drops because it's worthless, and I get zero out of it. Okay, my next account up is because one of my friends in New York lost his job, doesn't have money, does Airbnb, things like that. I'm like, dude, all it takes is $100 and you can make some money. You could probably live off that for an entire year. And he's like, BS. So I said, I'm going to do it. So I put $100 in Moomoo. I did it about a week ago. I started trading options. I showed you guys my returns so far. So here are my returns. I'm up $1,000. Oh, it doesn't add it up. It had it added up. I'm up over $1,000 from $100. Okay, I'll leave them on so you guys can see the returns. I mean, I'm not playing anything crazy. Plantier, Roblox. I played U.S. Steel, AMC, SPY again, UVXY. Nothing major and nothing over leveraged. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. You see my positions. Okay, so again, 1 week into this account, 100 to over $1,100. So my goal is giving myself 2 months to grow 100 into $10,000. If I do that, I'm going to attempt to live off that same $100 for an entire year. Okay. And I'm going to update you and we'll do this every day. And it's going to be trading. I'm going to take out some money, pay rent, pay bills, and then trade the rest and do the same and grow the account and show everybody it's possible. I'm here to give you hope. I'm not here to yell at you. I teach a different way. Remember, drink water, 9 glasses a day, follow a strategy, and trade accordingly. First, if you have questions, please ask them in the side. I'm here to help and help you process. If you have a question about CPI numbers or the Fed or any stocks or option positions you're in, please comment. Okay, let's move on to the SPY and possible ranges for today. So I've mentioned, way I trade is I look for support in the market. When I see support, I know things will likely go higher to the next level. If it breaks the next level, I know it will likely go to the next level higher. Okay, same thing on the way down. You're a bear, great. You're looking for resistance and you're looking for it to break support. And when it breaks support, then you're looking to go to the next level down. Okay, so you say to me, well, are you a bull or a bear today? Quick secret, okay, for everybody that's with me now, and I appreciate everybody watching the pre-market with me. Here's my secret. I check out futures at like midnight, 1, 2 a.m. So let me tell you what I saw. Dow futures were up 200 points. NASDAQ futures were up 100 points. We saw a lull in the market yesterday, but a little spike towards the end of the day. So I'm believing futures, although less than 1% of the market is traded pre-market and after hours, I believe if we start here, yeah, we're going to do some minute shit during the day. I'm sorry for cursing. And then we're going to end up here again, right where futures were. So again, 200 on the Dow, 100 on tech. That's what I'm looking for. But let's talk about the SPY. Okay, so the SPY closed at what? 368 yesterday? I just like to be accurate. 368.50, and it's sitting slightly there over there right now. So 368.50. Understand, 368 flat is a teetering point. It can either act as support. So scenario 1, bull case scenario, 368 is support. They buy the market at open, and we see it push up to 372. Okay, where it could reject, but the actual real next rejection level is 374.50. So you're talking about the SPY could potentially go up 2% today. That would be my best case scenario. So if the SPY is up 2% and you're in Roblox or something like that, you're probably going to be up 5 or 6% in the stock. Okay, now we could do a bear case scenario, and then we'll talk about the ranges. Okay, a bear case scenario is you look at the last 2 days of the market and you say, what was the SPY low? Where did it have support? And I'm telling you, it had support right at 365.50, right at 366.50. The previous day was 364.80. So you keep hearing 364, 365. So it's basically, I would say 365 is support on the SPY, and 372 should reject right now. Yeah, 372, not 272. But yeah, 372 is rejected. So you say, yeah, I know that. I could watch that. That's obvious. But that is the way you trade. So as it's sitting at 368, what I expect to happen this morning is I expect, again, bull case scenario based on the futures, okay? And we'll give you the 2 scenarios. Bull case scenarios, it gets bought at open till about 9:50, 10 a.m. Then it drops a little more. We seem to find the bottom of the market. So somebody said to me, when do you like to trade? So we seem to see the bottom of a market on days where we get sick and then show us some type of turnaround, which is good because we're looking for the lowest point to get in. Or if we knew it was going to get sick, we would grab puts on the open, but they're expensive. So for me, I see the most movement or the best entry sometime between 10 a.m. and noon, okay? Let's just say 11 and noon, okay? And I say that because usually if the market's going down, we'll see a double dip, which means something like this. The market opens, it spikes up, we dip down, it's 10:14. Now, when you look at 10:14, 10:15, there's usually like a 2 or 3 minute change of pace. So if the market's going down at 10:14, it looks like it's going to reverse, and it just fools you. That's what it's done. It's always there. It's always around 10:15. So please pay attention to the time. But if the market's going down at 10:15, you'll see a little reversal, and then by 10:34, it'll drop more. So if I'm looking to get in a bullish position while the market's going down, all right, I'm looking to get in probably sometime between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. Eastern time, okay? About 2 hours after the market opens, because usually that's the worst and we see it bottom. And when it bottoms, it generally bottoms once or twice. So you'll see the bottom and you'll be like, oh, I wanted to buy these calls, I didn't get in. And then it rebounds. Don't follow, don't chase. Say to yourself, and here's another tip or secret that I like to use. Whatever option contract I am buying for the day, whatever it is. Let's go to yesterday, a firm, okay? I look and I pull up the option contract and then I spread it out over 3 to 4 days. And I look at what the bottom is. Okay, 3 days ago, it was $28 a contract. Yesterday, it was $27 a contract. It's currently sitting at $34 a contract. I'm not paying $34. I'm looking for it to touch where it touched support before. That's the same thing or the same way you trade the SPY. If you get into SPY calls or puts because you think you're going to be right, and I used to be guilty of this all the time. I would be so guilty about hopping in no man's land, all right? When the SPY is in between two ranges and you think you're going to be right, you're like, oh, it's going to be bullish. It's going to hit the next peak. Understand risk versus reward. When it's sitting in between two ranges, and we'll say right now we're at 368, and we'll say the next range is 372 on top. So let's say the SPY gets bought up in the market and it goes to 370. It's a terrible time to buy puts or calls, because if you're buying calls and you're thinking it's going to 372, it could easily retract back to 368, which would be a much better time to be bullish than at 370. So it's risk versus reward. Same thing, flip the switch. Say you want to buy puts and you're like, this market's going down, and you could totally be right. The market could be going down, but you get in at 370, but the SPY is not done going up, so it goes up to 372. Guess what? Your puts are down like 40%. And you're like, oh my God. And then you're thinking about selling, because as the SPY is going against you, you're like, it's going to get worse. I'll be down 90%. But when you grab the best entry, like I did, okay, so let's go use my UVXY example yesterday. I bought those $40 calls yesterday. It was only a single day trade for me, but I bought $40 calls. It went up to 50, and then it retracted down to like 44, 45. Everybody else that bought at 50 is off 10% going, oh, if the UVXY drops more, I'm going to get screwed. Me, I was thinking, okay, if it drops a few more cents, I'll only be up 5%, maybe 8%, 10%, but I'll still be green. So when you show patience, that's the most important thing about any position you're in, because if you grab the right entry and you're up 30%, even though you're looking for 60 or 100%, you're up 30, and then it starts fighting against you. The market turns, and whatever you thought was going the opposite way, instead of your account turning red 30 or 40%, you seal yourself green. You're still like, I'm up 6, I'm up 8%. I'm going to hold. It gives you the confidence that you need. So again, if there's one lesson today, it's timing. Don't just jump into a position. If you have an idea, which is good to have a strategy, today was going to be a strategy session. So let's talk about what stocks I might be looking at. Okay, so I'm looking at the SPY, okay? Right now it's sitting negative. It's 368, almost flat pre-market. So if I'm going to get into SPY calls, I'm going to look for the bottom. So what could the potential bottom be on SPY calls? Well, I mentioned it before, 365. 3 days ago, it was 364.80 was the low. Yesterday, it was 366. I think 50 was the low. The day before, 365.50. So now I know the 3 lows from the last 3 days. So again, if I'm looking for calls and the market opens red, and again, we open red and it drops, and the first 15 minutes, we just drop, I would be looking for support at 366.50. If it doesn't get support, 365.50. Okay, I'm not buying anything yet. I just have a strategy of when I would enter into it. So if I see that, and we know there's no reason for the market just to dump completely today, like lose 1,000 points or whatever it is. So if the market opens up down 1%, I'm buying this dip. Again, Q4 in October, we're having a good month. We're probably up 4%. September, I think we were down 6%. Understanding that October 1st starts the first quarter for institutions for their fourth quarter returns. So that's why they were all buying the first and second day of October, that Monday and Tuesday, when the Dow went up 800 and 700 points. It tells me the fourth quarter is going to break this streak. We've had like 6 or 7 losing quarters in a row, 3 for the banks and institutions. So it's telling me I'm actually a bull in Q4. Do I think we're going to recession for the next year? Yeah, of course we're going to recession. I could see the housing markets tumbling. Mortgage demand is at like a 30-year low. Mortgage rates are at like a 32-year high. So again, this is how I end each session. I will go and I will look at the 2-year, the 10-year, and the US dollar, because as I can see, futures, they just turned red slightly. So I'm going to look at the US dollar, which seems to still be coming down. So it's 112.46, which is under 112.50. So that is actually a bullish thought for me. The 2-year, is it spiking past 4.60? No, it's still 4.578. So it is extremely high. I said anything over 4.5 yesterday was high, but it's not that much higher than yesterday. Now the 10-year just spiked a bunch of basis points while the market futures turned red. So the 10-year just spiked to 1.57. Okay, 1.57. It was just 4.11. So it just went up 4 basis points, which is why futures just went red in the last 12 minutes. So again, leading up till 9:30, I will be looking at these things. At 9:28, I'll be looking at the 10-year. If the 10-year is sitting around 4.11, I will say bullish. If the 10-year is sitting where it is now, 4.15 or 4.16, I'm going to say bearish on the day. I'm going to do the same thing for the 2-year as it sits. See, it just went up a little more too. It's sitting at 4.59 right now. 4.59 is terrible. 4.55 still sucks, but could be bullish. So 4.55 under, and the 10-year dropping to 4.11 under, right? Bullish. Bearish is where we are right now, right? And then I'll check out the US dollar. We probably just spiked a little, and we did. So you could see that a little. See the spike? So again, these are just people being concerned. Now, as soon as it flattens out, then what you're going to see is you're going to see the markets flatten out and find some support. So we follow the support levels on the SPY. Go over them one more time. We'll start at 360, just in case you want to write these down. 360 on the downside. Next level up, 363. Then I mentioned the low 3 days ago, which was 364.80. The low yesterday, which was 366.50, and then 365.50. But screw all that. 368 is the next level up. We'll go 365, 368. Past 368, you're going to see rejection at 372. You break 372. See, understand, when the supply zone at 372 gets broken, the market's quickly going to bounce higher. All right, that's a very important level. 371 to 372 is a supply zone. So every time the SPY gets up there, institutions unload their SPY ETF shares. Unload, unload, unload. When they're done unloading, when it breaks 372, it's going to shoot right up to 374.50 or 375. So am I saying that's going to happen today? Not necessarily. I don't think anything necessarily happens today. I said today's range, I would like to see 365 on the downside, 372 on the upside, okay? But I do think later in this week, if there's a more earnings, again, everything's based on earnings. So 20% of S&P companies report this week and the rest report the following 2 weeks. So everything's going to be controlled by earnings until mid-November, November 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. Whenever we have the next CPI reading, that's going to be extremely important. So if earnings continue to be okay or good, the markets can continue to go up into midterm elections which I believe is like the first Thursday or Tuesday in November. Understand, historically, the market seems to do well after midterm elections into the end of the year. So now you have a couple of scenarios that tell you it could be bull case, especially when the institution's Jamie Dimon's coming on and he's saying, oh, the market could give up a 20% more. The last time he said that was the beginning of June. What happened in June? We had a bull run in a bear market. With that said, I'm going to be heading over to Discord, shoot my pre-market video. Anybody that doesn't have an account, you can join Moomoo. Again, one free stock, just setting up an account. Deposit $100, 4 free stocks, 15 if you put in 2,000. I did it. I have like $104 worth of free stock. Yes, I have to wait 6 months to be able to cash that out, but that's a free $104. So I like free money. If you like free money, check out the link below. If not, I'll see everybody else on Discord, or I'll find you on Twitter.